Martin Reid, National President for the National Union of Teachers, bringing you all there in Australia and the AEU our best wishes, our fraternal greetings and our friendship from England and Wales. I've been asked to give an overview to you of the situation with high-level testing and league tables in the UK. And what I want to do in the time I have is to run through some of the issues with you. The nature and purpose of assessment has been the subject of really intensive debate in England and Wales now for 20 years. And we know from the research evidence that the evidence concludes overwhelmingly that the current high-stakes system of testing and assessment undermines children's learning. Other countries in the United Kingdom, in our devolved system, have acted on this evidence. But now only England remains with an end of key assessment system, which we believe is fundamentally flawed. It's also clear to us from the consultation that we've had with our members and elsewhere that teachers remain firmly opposed to national curriculum testing arrangements and their use fundamentally as accountability measures. Now, we know that the fact that successive governments have chosen to ignore professional opinion and indeed professional concern has led to an indictment of government attitude and an indictment of the failure of government to listen to professional opinion. This fissure between the teaching profession and the government, of course, led us in 1993 as a union to call what some call the greatest act of civil disobedience in the history of education. We were very pleased to be disobedient, and we believed that we were being disobedient to deal with an insidious and failing system that created appalling demands on teachers and children. Indeed, the gap between professional opinion and government policies were not stark enough, or if they were not stark enough, the fact that successive governments have failed to take account of evidential-based policy in this regard has been a great weakness and a great problem in England and Wales. Of course, we've seen change now in Wales. We've not seen it in England. We've been arguing for coherent alternatives for some time. And we believe now, at our stage in our struggle on this matter, that the government should instigate an independent review in order to deal with this issue once and for all. We believe that accountability is not something we should run away from. We advocate accountability, but we believe that it should be a fair and indeed an accurate account of accountability and the rationale of accountability. The entire system that we have in England in terms of testing is permeated by a complete lack of trust. And no doubt in your struggle, you will find that the initiation of this testing system will lead to the same lack of trust, the same abandonment of teachers doing a job as professionals. And we know that the externally validated testing regime is a measure that in reality has little to do with educational achievement and everything to do with a perception of governments regarding the issue of the commercialisation, if you like, validation of an education system. We believe that an independent review in England would challenge that. But of course, there is enormous resistance here to that rationale. But let's talk about the weight of research evidence, because it's certainly something the government doesn't want to talk about. Over the last decade, the National Union of Teachers has conducted a range of studies focusing on the impact of high-stakes testings for the purpose of accountabilities. We have shown consistent results from that. The focus of the use of test results for the purposes of high-stakes accountability has damaging effects on children, and it has damaging effects on teachers. Our study in 2003 may be of value to you. It was conducted by Dr. S. Neil of the University of Warwick's Institute of Education. And it found that teachers felt strongly that testing narrowed the curriculum and distorted the education experience of the children in the care of teachers. They also said that excessive time, workload and stress for children was not justified by the accuracy of the test results on individuals. Teachers did not feel that the tests accurately reflected their school achievements. And the study found that experienced teachers and teachers of younger children stressed two negative factors: the effect of the tests in distorting the curriculum and the educational experience available to children, and the test's effects on their workload, which was largely due to their own efforts in supporting the children through the tests. Whilst the NUT study found that high-stakes end-of-term testing continued to cause much greater concern in primary than in secondary schools, and that the long-standing experience of testing and examinations at secondary level tended to lead to greater acceptance amongst teachers and parents, teachers of older children reported also that the testing period was more stressful for students than for the children in primary schools.